and I will post this later. So hello, everyone, and welcome. If this is your first time here, I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Iowa. And I'm so glad that you've dropped by and that you stopped by. Hello, Judy. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So today is my Christmas in July craft along. So some of you I know purchased my craft along earlier, and I sent out the tutorials by email a couple of days ago. So you can try crafting along with me, or you can watch now, rewatch later, because you can stop and pause it if that makes it easier. But don't worry if you did not purchase the craft along kit, because I'm still going to offer my online card class like I do monthly for my in-person. And I'll tell you about that in just a second. But if you did purchase the craft along kit, then you receive some product, and also you received the make and take. And so I am going to take those make and takes out, and we are going to use those for our crafting today. Okay, let me see. I am going to just switch a button. There we go, I think. All right. So today I am going to share 4 cards with you, and we're going to be using an online exclusive, and the bundle is called Iconic Imagery. Now, online exclusive, it just means that stamp set or those in the bundle, that this bundle is not in our catalog, but you can find it in my online store. So that's what it means when I say online exclusives. You just go to my online store and you can find these items. But today, as I mentioned, I'm going to offer this online card class, just like I do my in-person monthly card class, and that is free. So how do you earn it free? By placing an order with me in my online store. So place at least a $25 order before tax and shipping in my online store, and then I will send you the 4 supplies and cardstock to make these 4 cards. And if your order is $50 or more, I'll send you the gems that we're going to use today. So let me turn the camera down and we will start stamping. So let me get a little more light on. Before I start, I just wanted to let you know that we only have today and tomorrow to earn the $5 coupons. So for every $50 that you spend, you can earn a $5 coupon, and then in August you can redeem those and you can stack those up. So if you placed a $100 order, you would get 2 $5 coupons, and then in August you can use that $10 at the same time, both of your coupons. But your coupons are emailed to you, so you do want to make sure that you save that email. And then this just has the online exclusive. So there are several stamp sets and papers that are in our online store. And if you just go to the store, you can find all of that. So I'm going to be using the Iconic Imagery today. And one of the reasons that I love this, so this is my Christmas in July card class, my craft along. But one of the reasons I chose this is because you can use it for Christmas. You have, snowflake, you have trees, the season, peace, joy. But you can also use it for other occasions because you have hearts and you have candles for like birthdays. So I like this and celebrate grateful. So you can use this for different times of the year and not just for Christmas. And then it does have some dies that come with it. Some of them are gone because I've already pulled them out. Now, when I send you the card kit, I will not send you the dies from this bundle, the iconic imagery, but any of the dies that I used from other items that are not part of this bundle, I will die cut. So for example, I'm going to be using stylish shapes for this first card. So those will be die cut for you in your kit. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our first card. And let me get everything out. So this is what you would receive by placing an order with me. And you do need to place this order using a host code that I have that in the description. And the link is in the description. And if your order is, as I mentioned, $50, then you can also receive, I will send a free package of gems to you. All right, so let's talk about for just a second the paper that I'm using. This paper here, well, first of all, this paper here is part of the iconic imagery suite, and it is part of the iconic celebration paper. So there is some paper that goes along with the bundle that I'm using today. And but again, you'll have fall papers, you'll have Christmas, you'll have plaids, some pumpkins. So again, just you can use this for lots of different. There's even there's candles and leaves. So again, you can use this paper for lots of different occasions besides just Christmas. Today I'm focusing on Christmas because it's our Christmas in July. And then this beautiful paper right here, isn't that gorgeous? This is from this pack here that you can find online, and it's called Seasons of Green and Gold, and it's specialty designer series paper. So you'll have little flecks of gold throughout the paper. And this is what we're using on this first card, but just kind of quickly wanted to show you some of the other beautiful papers. Look at those bells. So this is part of another suite, but I wanted to use it for this card. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to move. So this is like what you would receive. So I'm going to take this mossy meadow, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the designer series paper to the mossy meadow layer. So I'm going to start with the larger piece. And we'll line this up. Just a little bit to the left, which is one of the reasons I like the green glue, because you have a little bit of wiggle room. And then we're going to add this strip of designer series paper right underneath. And it's overlapping a little bit. Even if it didn't overlap, even if it had a little bit of a gap, that would be okay too, because we are going to bring in, this frayed white ribbon, and we are going to place it across the front Bring in my scissors, snip those. Now, you can use glue to put the ribbon down. And if you want to keep the card for a long time, then you want to do that. I'm just going to use Scotch tape. The only thing with Scotch tape, I mean, eventually Scotch tape isn't, you know, you want to get archive tape if you're going to keep the card, but usually I send the cards out, and sometimes the people that I send to, they do keep the cards. So, but this is a quick way to do it, especially when camera. Okay, so this layer here is going to go right on the front of our basic white card base. And then we are going to come back and we're going to add a little bow on this. But right now, I am going to bring in our strip of basic white and we're going to do some stamping. So for all of these cards today, I'm using 3 main ink pads: Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, and Misty Moonlight. So we're going to start with the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to bring in our trees, which I have already put on blocks. And I'm going to start with the one that has like little bumps on it, and that's going to be our outline. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp. Now, I will not be able to send any stamped images, so you'll need to do your own stamping just like I'm doing. And then let's just do a couple more, because that way, if we don't like a tree, then we have some choices, right? Okay, now I'm going to bring in the one that's smooth when you touch it, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to just try and do it full strength and see if I like that. So I'm going to line this up. And I think it's too dark. So let's go ahead and ink that up, and then let's just go ahead and stamp off of my paper and then back on. I like that better. So stamp off, stamp on, ink it up, and then kind of line it up. That's what I like about the photopolymer stamps, is that you can see through them. And so it makes it a little easier when you want to line things up. Although I didn't do very good on that one, did I? Let's see if I can do this a little bit better. Yes. That's why we just stamped some extra. All right, let's clean that, because I may need those later. Set this aside, and while we have this out here, I am going to go ahead and bring in our sentiment strip, and we're going to stamp Joy for the Season. So I have the seasons together on one stamp, but Joy and For are separate stamps. So I have For the Season, and I did have Joy, but I guess I decided to come off. So we'll put it right there, and we will try to pick it up straight. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we're going to ink this up in our Mossy Meadow, and then we'll stamp. Joy for the Season. Okay, So that's all the stamping that we need for this card. So I'm going to lay these aside, and then I'm going to bring in our die. And I'm going to bring in a cut and emboss machine. We're not going to cut that first one out because that one just didn't do very well. So we're just going to start with the second one. And I do want 5. So I want 5 of these. And I guess I could have had these cut out, but I didn't. Better if I didn't lay that on the block, right? But this won't take very long. And this one, so just put a little sticky note on it. And off we go. Judy, I'm glad that you like the pine trees. They are cute. I love pine trees. Damp pine trees and real pine trees. Okay, let's see. And we just have one more. So we're making 4 cards today. And I do like to just use, I place it, but then just to make sure, use a little sticky notes. You can use washi tape. That works well too. There's lots of different things you can do to keep your dies. All right, let me place this back over on the table. Okay, so we're going to bring our card base back, and we have 3. I already die cut 3 solid shapes, and yours will be die cut too. The one is larger than the other, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop these up on our card front. And so I'm going to kind of make it like a triangle. So I'm going to put that out in the middle. But we probably should take off the back ones, right? I was just so excited about getting it on the card. All right. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make these kind of like triangles. And I didn't pay attention. So that is the back of. So there is kind of a front and a back. And so you see the stitched edging there. And it has a stitch edging here too. But there is a difference between the front and the back. So a little tip there because you'll want yours all going the same way. Okay, and then I'm going to overlap this like I did this one here. right. Okay, and now we are going to just add a dimensional on one of our trees, and we're going to pop that up about right in the middle. Then we're going to take our next tree, and I'm going to place it over on the right on that triangle, trying to get it about the same. And then we're going to add dimensionals to the last two, because remember we have 5 trees. And then we're going to put that about right here. Could put them up just a little bit higher if you wanted, but I think that'll be fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in our sentiment. Now, this is just an extra strip that I put in case you might need to stamp your sentiment more than once. And I'm just going to add 3 dimensionals. Joy for the season. And I'm going to place that over here on the left and below the ribbon. And then that will help me know I'm going to bring in our ribbon again, and I'm going to tie like a big bow. We're going to tuck that right under there, and then we're going to tie a knot. And we can just slide that right there, just like that. Bring in my scissors, cut that to the edge, and then so joy for the season. Our first card's almost done, but I want to bring in these embellishments, and these are pecan pie and clear ribbon adhesive back dots. That's a mouthful, right? So I just call them pecan and clear. So I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool because I can pick things up. Let's see, do we want to pull out that pecan pie from kind of like the gold? Yeah, I think that would be good. That's you could even put it right on the top of the tree. I think I will put one right over here. And you have a smaller and larger gems. So you have smaller and larger pecan pie and clear. And that right there. So here's our first card, Joy for the Season. So let's go ahead and let me move things, and we will start on the second. So we're going to need some new stamps. And on this card, we had Joy for the Season last time. We're just going to use for the season. So I'm just going to peel off that Joy. And then we're just going to put that right back in here. Right there on Joy, so we won't lose that. All right, let's get our pieces out. Well, thank you, Judy. I'm glad that you like that way that we use the pine trees. So on this card, we have our basic white card base. We have designer series paper with some birds and Misty Moonlight layer, basic white layer, and some basic white scrap to do some stamping on. Let me get rid of these backings of the dimensionals, or you know what's going to happen? They're going to be everywhere. But we're all used to that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and fold our card base in half. lined up. Let's bring in our bone folder. And we'll lay this aside. And the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to bring in this die, and this is a deckled rectangle die. So this will be cut out for you. If you place an order in in my online store to get this card kit, you do need to do that by Sunday, August 4th. So you do need to place your order by the end of the day on August 4th to get the card kit to make these 4 cards. But and so this will be already cut out for you, but I wanted to show you this little tip if you don't already know it, because it saves on designer series paper. So I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine, and this deckled rectangle is the 3rd from the largest deckled rectangle. So I'm going to put this designer series paper, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to place this about in the middle. And I'm going to use those sticky notes. And this little trick is because we're going to be able to use this on 2 cards. We are going to use this frame on this second card, but we are going to use this on another card we make today. All right. I'm going to set up my sample card just. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and we're going to adhere this to our card base. And I'm going to bring in my craft sheet. Now, I should tell you that we do have kind of a storm going on, or it sounds like it. We had a lot of wind earlier today, but now I kind of think I hear some thunder. You may not be able to. So I can't see out because I have curtains on my window, but hopefully we will not lose electricity like we did a couple days ago. But if we do, I will be back on another time when we get it back. Okay, so I added some adhesive. I like using the silicone craft sheet because then it doesn't get my workspace sticky. And then we're going to place this, and I'm holding it kind of up in the air so I can get the placement on the left-hand side, because that just works better for me. You do what works best for you. And then place it down. All right, and then we're going to bring in our other pieces, and we're going to go ahead and then adhere this misty moonlight. So right over, so you get a little bit of the designer series paper showing, but see, we're going to cover that up. So I'm going to just double check and make sure that that is the right measurement, and it is. But when you're not going to be using the entire sheet, it's not going to show your designer series paper. There's no reason then to waste that. So we're going to be able to make 2 cards and use that other sheet on another card today. Okay, so I'm going to lay this aside, and then we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to bring in our basic white, and we are going to bring in our star, and then this little dots, I don't know, splotch, whatever. and we're going to be using Misty Moonlight and Pecan Pie. And I think I'll start with the Misty Moonlight. So I'm just going to randomly, I'm going to ink up our star, and I am going to stamp off. And the reason I do that is to make it a little bit lighter. And then I'm just going to stamp it about right there. And again, I'll put one in this corner. Let's have one kind of part way off on here and stamp here. Oh, ink it up, stamp, then on my paper. Ink it up, stamp off, and then back on the paper. Let's do one more. Stamp off, and maybe about right here. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I'm going to clean my star. I'm going to use it just a little bit, but the one had a lot of ink on there. Stamping all of those. I'm just going to set that aside and bring in our pecan pie. Hi, Sheila. Oh, that's called Misty Moonlight. That you like that blue cardstock. Yes, it's called Misty Moonlight. Hello, Vay. How are you doing? So I'm going to ink up this pecan pie, but I really want it light. So I'm going to stamp once, twice, and then onto my cardstock. So I'm going to stamp, ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp once, twice, and I'm just kind of filling in a little bit. So off twice, and then onto my paper. Because I don't want it very dark. So stamp off twice, and see if we get right there. One more time. Okay, I think that looks good. Don't think we're going to use this little splotch again, but I'm going to clean it because you never know. All right, so we're done with the pecan pie for this card. But then I want to come back in and I want to stamp a couple of stars, full strength now, with our Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to do 2 stars, full strength now. And then I'm going to bring in Grateful. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to bring in For the Season and ink this up. And we're going to stamp that about right here. And our stamping is finished for this card. We're about ready to put it together, but I do want to bring in my scissors, and I'm just going to lay that aside, and we are going to go ahead and die cut these 2 stars. So is it stormy where you're at, or what is the weather like where you're at? I am well, thank you, Vay. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well too. So I'm going to line that up. That star, we just have one more to do. And so the stamp set I'm using is called Iconic Imagery bundle today. And of course, you can buy the stamp set by itself, the dies by itself, but you do save 10% when you purchase the bundle together. All right, let's go ahead and we are going to go ahead and we're going to pop up this layer using dimensionals on the Misty Moonlight. So let's bring in, and I like to place my dimensionals in the four corners. And then I also like to always put one in the middle so it doesn't sag. Now you could put a couple more here, but it just kind of depends how secure that you feel that it is, but I think this will work fine. This is our second card of 4, and I will show you all the cards at the end. So I'm going to, again, try to get those placed right there. It should fit on the Misty Moonlight layer. Hopefully it's straight. Sometimes I have to kind of put it right in front of my eyes. Okay, so now we are going to take the Grateful and the For the Season, and we're just going to cut around them. These are going to be our sentiments, but sometimes I like to just cut around my sentiment for just a little different look. When we have labels that we can use our trimmer, but so I'm just kind of making some in and out movements. How many of you have done this? I bet you have. I bet you just cut around your sentiments before. Now we're going to add dimensionals to the back of the 2 stars. And then I think I'm going to put this back right down here, and this will go here. So we can either go over the stars already there, or we can add an extra one. So I think I'm going to put that right on top of that one. And I think I'm just going to do it like that. So, but you could add them where there aren't any stars or overlap. Then I'm going to add dimensionals to our sentiments. Hello, Veronica. How's the weather up in Maine today? We're going to add this right down here. Now, I love red and green for Christmas, but I also think blue is pretty too. So, Grateful for this season. We're going to bring in our gems, and these are the clear and the pecan gems. And I think we definitely want to go with the pecan. I think I'm just going to place that right in the middle of the star. Kind of brings out the pecan pie that we used for the kind of the background. And so here we go. What do you think? This is our second card, Grateful for the Season. You can most certainly stamp some stars inside if you wanted to also. So let's go ahead and make our third card. Oh, good, Veronica. I'm glad that your weather is beautiful today. Well, we have a new stamp that we're going to use out of our iconic Imagery. This is the stamps that we're using, and we're trying to use several of the stamps. Okay. So you would receive, again, to get this card, this is my craft along in July. My theme is Christmas in July. And I know some of you ordered the craft along kit, so you can either be crafting along with me or you can rewatch it. But if you haven't, if you did not, don't worry. I am offering this as I do my online in-person card classes. So if you purchase a $25 order with me now through the end of Sunday, which is August 4th, then I will send you the cardstock and the die cuts to make 4 cards. All right. We are going to start with a piece of mossy meadow, and we have designer series paper, and we're just going to put that right in the middle. Now, if your order is $50 or more, I will send you a brand new package of those pecan and clear dots. And my plan is to have these shipped out to you no later than Friday of next week. So, which I think is the 9th. But my plan is really to have it shipped out on the 8th is my plan. But okay, and now we're going to add this to the card base. The last card that we're going to make is going to use that DSP that we used on our second card. So I haven't forgot that we're going to use that. All right, and then we have the label. And this label, I've already die cut it out from the Iconic Imagery, and that is this label right here. And we're going to use mossy meadow. Can't say that word very well, can I? And I'm going to ink it up in the green ink. There we go. We're going to celebrate. Cleaning that off to the side. Hope that's okay. And then we are going to leave the green ink, the mossy meadow ink out, and we're going to bring in our star, and I'm going to clean that just a little bit better because it still has a little misty moonlight. And I'll just show you how to do that. So when you have like a little bit of blue there, sometimes it helps just to take your chamois and then just rub it like that. Sometimes you can go like this and it works fine, but if you need a little more detailed stamp like this is, then it helps them to go ahead and just pick up your chamois. Okay, we are going to stamp 4 stars. And I think I'll do 1 off just to make it a little bit different. But you could do all 4 full strength if you wanted to. We're getting a lot of use out of this cut and emboss machine. I probably should have brought the little one out. It would, the little one, the mini, we call that the mini, it would have worked on all of everything except for that deckled rectangle that I was doing. But so I just brought this one out. So since we are crafting along, I do have these already die cut to save time, but we're crafting along today. So I hope that you are enjoying, and I appreciate you being here. And remember that all the embossing and die cutting will be done for you except for the pieces from the main stamp set and dies, the Iconic Imagery. than all the others that I used. So you'll need to die cut this out just like I'm doing, because you have to stamp, and I cannot send stamped images. But you'll get the decorated rectangle and the style of shapes, triangles. Those will all be die cut for you. So do any of you have this stamp set yet? The iconic imagery? If not, it might be on your wish list now. That. So there you don't have it. Well, I really do like it just because it has so many different occasions. You can do Christmas and you can do birthdays. Even has like on one of the DSP like fireworks. So you could even do like a July 4th. All right, let's bring in our stars and our celebrate. And we are going to pop up celebrate. With our dimensionals. And I'm going to do two of the stars with dimensionals. So we'll figure out the placement of the others. If you're making multiples of Christmas cards, this would be a quick and easy one to do. And you want quick and easy ones, or if you make a lot of Christmas cards. And then I am just going to place this up in the corner. And I'm going to place this one down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to put a mini right here. And the reason for that, I'm going to have this mini is going to go on the flat part, and then I'm going to overlap it. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right here, the top, and then take that backing off. So it's going to be glued. Then you have the dimensional right down here. Okay. And then we will overlap this one. So I'm going to put the dimensional right here. And I'll take the backing off before I add glue. And then I'm going to add glue about right here. Just a little dab. Now I might need a little bit more glue, but I could try to put my glue in here, but I'm afraid I might get too much. So what we're going to do is just bring in our glue dot, and we'll just stick that right here. And then that keeps it down, and we don't have to worry about getting too much glue by trying to tuck that in with our glue bottle. All right, let's go ahead and bring back in our pecan pie and clear. And we're going to use clear this time. Because we haven't used them yet. So let's just put one right here. And I'm using the smaller ones, but you could most certainly use the larger ones. You have two sizes for these. And I think this one just needs a little bit So we're just going to get carried away. We have four. Some reason somebody came up with a rule that you need an odd number. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. This is our third card, Celebrate. And let's have one more card to make. So let's bring that in. And we are going to need this piece that we cut out earlier using the deckled rectangles. And we're going to be using some of that paper that you like, Sheila, the Misty Moonlight. We're going to use that as our card base this time. Maybe. There we go. Thank you, Vay. I'm glad you like the cards. And Judy, you like the cards with the stars and the snowflake. Thank you. Well, we have some different stamps that I have on blocks. So bring those in. We're going to be using a ribbon again, also for this card. And I think I'm going to show you this card. Would you like to see the card this time? This is the card that we're going to make. Joy, love, and peace. So, and the others, I haven't showed you the samples, but I thought I would show you this time. And we will be using the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. But if you place an order with me, then that embossing, of course, will be completed for you. All right, let's go ahead and fold our card base. And then I am going to bring in, you have two layers. One will be embossed and one will not. The one that is not embossed is going to be your inside layer. If you want to stamp anything on it, make sure that you do that before you put it in your card, because that way, if it doesn't turn out, you can just turn your basic white cardstock over and stamp on the other side, and then put it in. All right, and then we're just going to add. We have an embossed and a debossed side of your embossing layer, and you can, it doesn't really matter, just whichever side that you like the best. You know what, I'm going to turn that around. I want we have more stars, more snowflakes rather, at the bottom than you do at the top. And so I think I want the more snowflakes at the bottom. And I'm going to lay this aside, and I'm going to bring in another embossed piece. This, I used a deckled rectangle again, and I embossed it. And we are going to then add this designer series paper that we cut out earlier. We're going to add that to the front of our snowflake embossed Misty Moonlight. And so we'll just have a little bit of the snowflakes around it. And I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to pop this up on our card base. And I can keep that right here so you can see the card if you'd like. Oh, good, Sheila. I'm glad you like it. It's that one in the middle. All right, and we're going to place this in the middle of the front of our card base. Try to line it up as straight as we can. We're going to lay that aside, and then you will have a stylish shaped triangle, and it will be embossed. You will have a die cut for the sentiment, and you'll have a die cut star, and you'll have a Misty Moonlight, a larger one than a smaller. But we're going to have to stamp the leaves, so you will have a scrap of basic white to stamp the leaves. And we'll need Misty Moonlight ink. So I'm going to bring that in. And this is a two-step stamp. So once again, I'm going to start with the one that has a little more ridges on it. And I'm going to ink this up full strength. Okay. Then we're going to come back with the one that is smoother to touch. Okay, and then we're going to ink it up in Misty Moonlight, but I want to stamp off because I don't want it to be that dark. And then hopefully I can, with my camera there to see. So I'm going to try to line it up, and it's fairly easy. This is, some of our, I think, some of our stamps are a little bit harder than others to line up, but this set here I find is fairly easy. I like fairly easy. I don't know about you. We're going to die cut those out, but before we do that, let's go ahead and stamp joy, love, and peace. So I've already have love and peace on here. And if you remember, we used joy earlier and then we didn't need it. So we put it back in here. So we're going to need that now. So I'm going to get that out. And so I want them a little bit, I don't want them right by each other. I want a little bit of space in between. So I'm going to turn this around and get it lined up the best I can. And then I'm going to, and remember when the flat side is up towards you, of course. And then we'll pick it up. So it's a little bit. But it needs to be a little bit closer because you always want to check to see. So we may need to put these a little bit closer. And I think even peace needs to be a little bit closer. So we do want a little bit of space between them. And I think this will fit. It just, barely fits. But it should. So hold your breath. There, yes. Joy, love, and peace. And you could put them just a little bit closer than that if you wanted to, but that will work. All right. So now we are going to get in a lot of use out of our die cutting machine today, aren't we? We're cutting a emboss machine. So in your iconic imagery, you have the die cut for the leaf. So we just have 2 to cut out. All right. We are finished with die cutting machine. This is our last card. And some of you are probably saying, oh, wait, look at that sample card, because we should have wrapped our ribbon around these two layers before I popped it up. But let's go ahead and bring in our ribbon. And that's okay, because there's no mistakes in stamping. They're just opportunities. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to add it across these first two layers. So let me bring in my scissors. You know what? I'm going to make it just a little bit longer because you can cut that off. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this. But before we do, let's go ahead and add our sentiment, which will help us in placement for the ribbon. And who knows, maybe you'll like it better just laying across. So we'll have two ideas on this card. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in that silicone craft sheet. And I'm debating whether I want to use Stamp and Seal or whether I want to use glue dots. So I'm going to try it with a Stamp and Seal. Stamp and Seal, this is Stamp and Seal Plus. Stamp and Seal Plus doesn't always play with me. And you know what? I don't think it's going to work on this particular ribbon because of the frayed. It's not going to want to roll because of the frayed. So we will bring our trusty glue dots in. Now I think one more. Okay. And then we are going to line this up on one side even with it. And press those down. Try to get it straight. All right. It may have been able to be a little bit straighter, but we're going to go with that. So what we're going to do with this is that we're going to pop this up. So the moral of this story is make sure you remember to add your ribbon around those two layers, your Misty Moonlight and your Designer Series paper. So we're going to pop this up and put it about right here. And then I want to add, we have our leaves and we have our stars. So I'm going to pop up our little star first. With a mini dimensional. And pop that up. Put that right in the middle. And then we're going to bring our glue dot back in. And this time I'm going to take my leaf and I'm going to put the glue dot. So I'm going to lay it, the leaf right there and pick it up like this. And then I am going to put that on here. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring in, and I'm putting the glue dot on the front of the leaf. And then picking it up. And then get my placement. And I want it to be about right there. And then I'm going to turn this over and add a dimensional. Bring in our card. Some of the stuff out of the way. And place that right here. So love, peace, and joy. So it looks like it does have quite a few layers, but it is still quick and easy to make. Should we use pecan pie or clear? What do you think we should use for our dots? And when you're telling me that, I'm going to pick up here a little bit. So let me know if I should use the pecan pie or the clear gems for this. And remember, this is my craft along in July, and the theme is Christmas in July. And if you did not purchase the craft along kit, so you craft along with me today, and I know some of you did, you can still get the card kit for the 4 cards, and I will send you the card base cut and scored along with embossing pieces and things that you need. When you place an order with me on my online store, it needs to be at least $25 through, and that's now through Sunday. You do need a host code. There is a link in the description. So, well, Sheila, you say clear, and Judy, you said pecan pie or clear. Well, so I guess that's 2 votes for clear then, because, all right, okay. And there isn't any pecan pie in here, is there? So I think, and if you have trouble, you can always use the putty side. I wonder if that should go right there. We're going to try that right there. And of course, you can put yours anywhere that you like. And I don't know, these are so pretty. There's like little lines in the clear. It's hard for you to see, but so here is our 4th card. Let me show you all the cards that we did today. So here is our first card, Joy for the Season. And again, we just used 3 colors, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, and Mossy Meadow. And this was our second card. Here is our third card. And then our 4th card. Which card is your favorite? If I can get them all on here, I think maybe I can do it like that and you can see. Let me know which one is your favorite. So Sheila, number 4 is your favorite, the last one that we did. Yeah, I should put that maybe like that in the order that we did them, right? All right, let me see if I can come up and talk to you. Okay, well, I appreciate you being here. I hope that you had as much fun as I did. And so Judy, the pine tree card is your favorite one? Awesome. That's the first one that we made. And Sheila, you like the last one that we made with that Misty Moonlight. Well, again, if you would like the card kit, don't forget you can just place an order in my online store through Sunday, and then it will be shipped out to you no later than actually the 8th. I looked at my notes, so no later than August the 8th. And if you would like, if your order is $50 or more, I will send you a brand new package of the pecan pie and the clear gems. And I am really loving those. And again, today I use the iconic imagery bundle, but I also use the iconic celebration designer series paper that coordinates with that bundle. Plus, I use some specialty paper, the Seasons of Green and Gold specialty paper. And all that can be found in my online store. And of course, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions or anything. I'd love for you to give me like a like on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate that, or give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I will be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central, August 6th. And take care. I'll see you soon, and bye for now.